Hey everybody, Kevin Wagenmaker here, Instructional Technology, MCC. I've had quite a few questions about a tool that can be used for allowing students to sign up for office hours or tutoring or lab time, scheduling exams, anything that you could possibly need a student to sign up for that's easy to create on your side. What's available for you? And the answer to that is Bookings. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to spend a little bit of time walking you through a tool called Microsoft Bookings and how you can set it up on your end. And it's something that's easy for you to do. So first things first, in your MCC sign-in area, you're actually going to see an option for Bookings. And if I scroll up to the top, we'll find it. And it doesn't have a logo like all the other ones do, so you're going to have to obviously use the alphabetical order and click on Bookings. And it's going to look like it's opening up in Outlook, but it's going to open up in its own new area. So like I said, I'm going to walk you through setting this up. And if you had a Bookings open previously, then your screen's going to look like I have it right here. If you've never opened a Bookings before, it'll look a little different. It'll get you started. But all you need to do is go over here and click on New. And it's going to talk a lot about business as we walk through this. You can go ahead and just disregard this, but you're going to give your Bookings a relevant name to what you're trying to set up. Now, I'm going to take the persona of biology because there's a lot of different items that can be offered within the realm of biology, like lab sign up and office hours and things like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this biology, and I'm going to call it Wagenmaker, like I'm the biology instructor or something. And I'm going to go ahead and leave business type blank, but you could just go ahead and do, actually I'm not going to leave it blank, we'll just call it education. You can call it higher education, you can call it whatever you want. But so I've named it as the course I'm instructing and also obviously the instructor, and I'm going to go ahead and click continue. Now what we just basically established is, like they said, was the business name. Okay, so now it's our job to add things like the services that we offer, office hours, lab sign up, tutoring, things like that. Those are going to be the services that we offer. We're also going to set our hours and also items like how students can sign up. And so we'll walk you through this. So there's a list over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to start at the bottom with the business information. In here, we can rename it if we needed to come back at a later date and give it a different name. We can also add any other relevant information that you can see here. We can add a business logo, which I'm going to skip for now. You can come back and easily do that. And we're also going to have the option to set our business hours. This isn't a huge deal. You can keep these kind of generic because we can also set our offers for services and the staff members that we add to this as well. So our business is set. We're going to go ahead and click on Save. And since we've already saved, we're good to go. We're going to move up the line to services. Now here's where we add those individual items, and it's very easy to do. Each time you create a new booking calendar, it's going to come with an initial consult. That's just by default. We'll leave that for now, and we'll go ahead up here to add a service. Now we go ahead and give it a name. For this one, I'm just going to go ahead and say office hours, and you can add a description if you'd like. For now, the default location can be an actual physical location, but it can also be an online meeting. So this will automatically generate a Teams meeting, which can be really helpful so that you can meet with your students virtually on a shared link. You don't have to go into Teams and set up that link. You can set the duration. I'm going to create just half-hour meeting blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. You can create a buffer time, so you can say, hey, I have a meeting at 9 o'clock. I do not want to have another meeting until, and that meeting goes from 9 to 9:30. I don't want to have another meeting for 10 minutes so I can add some notes, run to the bathroom, and do whatever I need to do. So after, you would just add maybe 10 minutes or whatever it is that you want to set it as, so that Bookings will automatically set that up for you. If you want students to be able to cancel their appointments or modify, you can go ahead and check that. If you need multiple attendees, you can change that. I'm just going to leave it at one because I only want one student showing up at a time for office hours. If you could set a price, it's available, but we're just going to go ahead and leave that as free or set that to free. And then there's also this ability to add different custom fields. So when your student is signing up, you can actually add some questions here. So you can see that we already have the students required to enter their customer email. This is on the sign-up form that the students will see, and I'll show you this towards the end. But they can enter their phone number, their address. You can also get rid of these By unclicking on them, that means that the students will not see them. But you can also add custom fields, which is really cool. So maybe you want to know a little bit more about what they're going to talk about, what they want to talk about. What will we be discussing? And you can go ahead and add that field in there. And you can see right now it's not going to be included. We just checked on it. We can even require it, so they have to fill it out. But you can just leave it as optional as well. If you want to create a multiple choice or a drop-down list, what is your concern? Maybe you want to know that ahead of time, or whatever you want to throw in there. You can add that, click on it to include it, and just like that, you click OK, and those items will be included when your students are filling out or signing up for an office hours. Another beautiful thing about bookings, it will provide email reminders to the person that signed up to meet with you. You can see by default they're set up to be a reminder that goes out 1 day in advance. You can add an additional or as many additional ones as you'd like. You can have it go out just minutes before and have it go to the customer and also to yourself. So you can set up multiple reminders for those in your meeting. You can also have it send out text reminders. And if we move right down the list, you can also see that there's a scheduling policy that you can set. Obviously, we've set that to 30 minutes, but you can also make it so that there's a minimum amount of time that they have to use to sign up beforehand. So, you know, if you want walk-ins, obviously you would want to uncheck this box up here, and you would want to set this, oops, going the wrong way, to 0, because you want students to be able to walk in and have a meeting. But if you want to change that, like if you want to know more in advance if someone's going to be coming in for a meeting, you can certainly change that. And this is going to be in hours right here, as you can see. There's also a lead time, a maximum lead time, and you can figure that out as you need it. A couple more things just with setting up the service. You can see that there's checkboxes to notify when changes are made. Obviously, you probably want to check this box to send the meeting invite to the customer, so that's the student that's signing up, in addition to a confirmation email. So if you're doing a virtual event, you definitely want to make sure that you get something that goes on their calendar. And also, for these services, you can add multiple staff members. So maybe you have, like the Writing Center, for example, has multiple Writing Center consultants. They can add multiple staff members. Maybe you're running a lab in biology and you have multiple lab attendants that are helping out. And students want to sign up with that specific lab attendant, they can sign up for a specific person. So that's something that you're going to have to set based on what your needs are. So we're happy with what we see right there. There are additional settings that we can for like Thanksgiving breaks and stuff like that come up, but we'll leave that alone for now. If you have any questions on that, I can help you and walk you through that. So we'll save that service. And I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to delete that initial consult. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to quickly add 2 more services. So you can see I've added a couple different services here that students can pick from when they're signing up from one bookings calendar. And so now you can see that there's no staff assigned, but everything else is set up. So now we're going to go to the process of adding a staff member. So if you have additional staff, it's not just yourself, but maybe, like I said, you have some lab attendants that you'd like to assign to a specific service. You can go to the staff area and click on Add Staff. And I'm going to add one of my test users. And all you have to do is start typing in their name, and it'll pop up. You can then add phone numbers. You can also add their ability to do things within bookings, whether it's just viewing a calendar or being an administrator, making changes like we're doing right here. I'm going to leave Frodo just as a viewer for now. And I also want to set Frodo's hours a little bit different because Frodo is not working the entire time that our services are available. So I'm going to uncheck to use the business hours. We can also turn our attention to this checkbox up here. Students won't, if this is checked, students won't be able to sign up for items that are available based on Frodo's availability on the Outlook calendar. So it lines up with your Outlook calendar as well. So if you have a meeting scheduled during when you would normally be available, it won't let the students sign up for that. So Frodo's only going to be available on Monday and Wednesday. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. And Frodo's only going to be available to, let's say, 3 o'clock on Monday. But Frodo works the longer shift and is available for 12 hours, 8 to 8 on Wednesday. So we like what we see. We're going to save it. And just like that, we have added another staff member. So now we can go back to our services area and we can assign staff members to our different items. So as the instructor, I want to be the only person that's available for office hours. So I'm just going to click on this edit icon here and I'm going to click on my name. So I'm highlighted and click save. For Open Lab, that's where I want both myself and Frodo to be available. So we'll click on both those names. And then for the exam time slot, I'm the only one that can offer that as the instructor. So there we go. So moving up the line, we see customers. We have not gotten any customers yet. So as people sign up, they will be listed here so that we can follow up with them if need be. And we can see who has visited our bookings calendar and signed up. The bookings page is important because here we can establish how we actually share our availability with our students. So this is where it gets really fun now that we've set everything up. So first checkbox is if you want to require a Microsoft 365. Do you want to require an MCC ID when booking? I'm going to leave that unchecked for now. But I can definitely see a reason why you might want to leave that checked so that you make sure that you only have students signing up. But if you're offering outside services, obviously you want to leave that unchecked. Other than that, a lot of this stuff is sort of repetitive, and it's something that you can go through and identify if it's something that you need. But we already established this in the service, so we don't need to change it in the booking page. We can make sure that we send the meeting invite to the customer. We can change availability, the overall availability. And we can also change the coloring of our calendar, and that will make sense here in a second. So when we're happy with what we see, we just go ahead and click on Save and Publish. And now we are ready to share. Now the beautiful thing about bookings is you can share out just this calendar in a tab like this. So you can email it out to all your students. And it's pretty cool, pretty simple in that you see these services that we set up. So maybe a student wants to sign up for some office hours. They'll only have one choice, and that's the instructor. And from here, they can click on the date when they would like to drop in. And they say, I'd like to have office hours at 10 a.m. Now, obviously, this instructor is offering a lot of office hours. Once they've selected a date and a time, they can go down below and enter their name and their email, add any notes, and we can also see those additional items that we had added before. And once they're happy with what they have, they can go ahead and click book, and they will get an email confirmation and also the ability to add it to their calendar. So I'm going to go ahead and do that quick. And I don't want to fill these things out just for the sake of time, so I'm going to click book. And just like that, we're good to go. I get a confirmation, or the instructor gets a confirmation, or whoever the staff is that had the appointment signed up with them, and the student will get an email confirmation as well. If the student needs to reschedule it, that's available for them. They can cancel it all from here. They can also access that from their email that they received. Now, this gets even better in that you can actually add these booking calendars to your Canvas and Teams environments. So if you have a course, if we go back to the bookings page, you notice that there's an option to embed. If we take this iframe code and copy it and head on over to our Canvas course, yes, we could just simply link a link to the calendar right here as a module item, but we can also add it in any instance of the rich content editor. So we'll add a page. And actually I have an example here, so we'll get rid of that one. And once we go into that page, we'll add some content. Now we got to do this a little bit different because we're adding what's called an iframe code. So we go over here to our code area, and we paste that code in there. And if we go back, we can see that the calendar has been added. Now, what I've noticed is it's kind of cut off. So if we go back to our code and we just change we can do a simple, and you're going to be a web designer after this, but we can just change that height to 1000 px pixels and go back, save and publish. Super easy, and now your students can fill out that calendar right within Canvas. As far as Teams goes, you can see that I have a sample team here, and I can add my calendar as an add-on item here simply by adding a website. Now I need to go back to bookings, and instead of using the code, I'm just going to take this web address that we used previously, and I'm going to paste that URL in there, save it, And now, if you have a team set up for your courses, you can actually add a tab right at the top. Students can come on in. They want to sign up for their exam. They'll see what's available. Or maybe it's an open lab. So I can give you a chance to see that they can sign up with multiple or a specific attendant. And you can see that we established those hours a little differently for Frodo. Had the shortened hours on Monday. And you can see that's the case. And you can see the form just looks exactly like we saw before. So that's Microsoft Bookings. Very easy to use, very easy to set up. If you have any questions about specific use cases, as always, you can get a hold of me. If you have any questions about anything else, you know where to find me. Teams, email, and you can also call me. My phone number is at the bottom of my signature in my email. Thanks a lot for all that you do, and have a good one.